Hey guys, I am Dani and welcome back to my channel with Summer Sky Gardens. So the weather has been really beautiful this past week, so I thought it would be a great time to take you guys outside, show you how my backyard garden looks right now at the end of summer, how everything fared throughout the summer, what was good, what was bad, and then what I'm planning on planting here in this next month for the fall and winter garden. I'll also be starting seeds soon, probably in the next couple of days. So I'll be filming that and putting up a video on that either next week or the week after. I'll also be sharing a lot of that on my Instagram. So if you're not following me over there, go check me out at Summer Sky Gardens. So just a quick recap over the summer. We had a really hot and dry summer. I think there was a point in time where we had gone 2 months without rain, which really doesn't happen, here on the coast. I'm in North Houston in Spring, Texas, and we're close enough to the coast that we usually get, periodic rain, but it was so dry. So I was out here watering every day, sometimes twice a day, trying to keep things alive. The heat was very intense, very early. So some of my vegetable crops did not do super awesome. The corn was a little bit of a letdown. The green beans were great. The tomatoes were awesome. What else did I grow? The okra was fabulous. A lot of the flowers did really well. My sunflowers got some disease, but the flowers themselves stayed okay. So overall, I would say it was a pretty successful summer garden. Just trying to deal with the heat and the dry temperatures. But then August came and we finally got a ton of rain. It cooled off ever so slightly. And then this week, the humidity dropped. The mornings have been in the 60s and 70s. I mean, it is beautiful. And even though it's getting up to the 90s during the day, it still feels awesome because the humidity is down so much. So after all this rain and this slightly cooler temperatures, everything is just looking really a lot better outside. Still a little bit of rough just because we're here at the end of summer, but looking a lot better. So within this next few weeks, I am going to be ripping everything out and turning the beds over to plant everything that I'm planting for my fall and winter garden. So I will show you guys that process as well, but enough talking. Let's go out and see how everything looks and what I'll be doing in each area. So here we are, we're gonna take a walk around the rose garden, which did super great this year. So as you can see, the roses have put on a ton of new growth throughout the year. I got all of these in the ground last fall. So they are all a year, about a year old in the ground. Here on the end, you can see my climbing rose, my Peggy Martin, and it has really done really well here on the end. And I'm really excited to see it bloom come the springtime. It might put out some blooms in the fall. And I've just been trellising it along the fence, just kind of wrapping the canes in and out, and then strategically using some plant Velcro tape to help hold it up. So a big thing that has been successful with the roses is I put them all on drip irrigation. And that has been so helpful, over the hot, dry summer. And then I would also come out here and hand water them sometimes, give them a really deep watering a couple of times a week. And as you can see, there's some new blooms coming in the fall. And I've been fertilizing them every couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, with a fish emulsion fertilizer, which works great, but I will stop by the end of this month so that they can focus on growing really strong roots for the winter. And then stay tuned come February, I will show a video on how to prune your roses. So here on the other side of the yard is what I call the Pollinator Garden. So these are all plants that I put in to attract bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, wasps, any kind of beneficial insects. It looked really great in the spring. A few things have petered out in the summer with the heat, which is not unexpected. The 2 plants that have done the best have been this giant milkweed, which has grown the biggest I've ever seen it. I've had it for 3 years. And then as well the salvia, which is the bluish purple flower on the end that the bees just go crazy for. That's also 3 years old, and it has gotten huge this year. So if you're looking for plants that can take the heat, can take dry conditions all summer, I highly recommend salvias or sages, as well as milkweeds, which of course support the monarch butterfly. All right, let's go over to the main garden area, which is the raised beds. So in this first bed is what I call my cut flower garden. Over the summer, I grew a ton of celosia, amaranth, I had cosmos, sunflowers. I tried to grow some cress and feverfew, which kind of did okay, but most of the heat-loving stuff did awesome. As you can see, the celosia is really the only one hanging in there, and it has grown exponentially this past month. But soon I will be starting inside snapdragons and stock, which I will succession plant into this bed by October and overwinter those so that they will bloom nicely come early springtime. Now, the second bed started out with corn and green beans. The green beans did fabulous. The corn was a little hit or miss. Once those were done, I ripped them out and planted sunflowers, which all did very well. And then I will be putting in some status, which I will be starting indoors in the next week and then transplanting out next month. This third bed, I had tomatoes growing until about June. They did awesome until they got some fungal disease just with the early heat wave. And then I took them out and transplanted in some chrysanthemum cuttings, which I'm hoping are going to bloom in the next couple of months. And once those are done, I will be planting in here anemones, which won't go in until closer to Thanksgiving. So here is bed 4, which now has a bunch of zinnias, which is actually my third succession of zinnias, and they have been doing really, really well. They look great. I will be planting in here some blue plurum, and I will direct seed that kind of middle of October. This bed actually started out as all strawberries, which were great. I mean, it was my best strawberry harvest to date. I will be growing strawberries again, but I will be doing them in pots along the fence, and those will go in between October and November. So here in bed 5, I started out with a bunch of peppers and my dahlias and okra. The dahlias did better than I thought they would. They bloomed a bunch early in the summer and then kind of petered out. The okra did great, of course. The peppers were slow to ripen, and then they did a lot better. Come next month, I will be starting out direct seeding bells of Ireland in this bed, and I'll be doing a couple of successions of that. And then here, this last raised bed, this has been zinnias the whole summer. These were the ones that I started indoors in January, transplanted in March, and they did really, really well all summer. They are petering out, and I think it is beneficial to succession plant zinnias because they come on really strong at first and then peter out. But I will be ripping these out soon, and then next month I will be putting in some dill and dara. And that will round out my cut flower garden for the fall and winter. As you guys can see, I am not growing any vegetables back here. I am going to try to do a few in the front, maybe some carrots and lettuce because we use those a lot. I really wanted to take the opportunity to see what flowers I can grow, how much I can grow, try out a bunch of different things, and hopefully have some success.